So let us start our session. So yesterday we were discussing your concepts like filters, then groups, then we have seen sets, parameters, so these are some concepts that we saw yesterday. So today we are going to see maps. And we'll try to take a look at some visualizations also. So that is what we are going to cover today. So I'm going to use the same data set, your sample superstore. And we'll try to discuss your concepts. So let us try to see how can you create maps. So to create maps, you should have something called as geographic fields. So how do you identify a geographic field here? You are going to identify with the help of this globe icon. So whenever you have a globe icon here, it is telling us that it is a geographic field. So when you look at the state is a geographic field. Similarly, you have your country, which is a geographic field. See a globe icon. Your city, which is again a geographic field. So with the help of these geographic fields, you are going to create your maps. So what are the type of concepts that we are going to cover during the discussion? We are going to see symbol maps, what Tableau is going to give us by default. Then we are going to see field maps, which is another option what Tableau has. We are going to see the concept of combined maps, how to create this combined maps using multiple measures, using pie charts, all those things we'll try to see how you can create your combined maps. And then we'll move towards the concept of editing, unrecognized locations, so Tableau sometimes will not be in a position to recognize the places on your map. So you have to set Tableau the corresponding location and it is going to recognize on the map. Then going forward, we are going to see your map layers. What are the different layers that you can apply on maps? Your data layers. What all data layers do you have? We're going to see them with the help of examples. And then we are going to discuss something called as WMS, Web Map Services. So how do you custom import your layers into your Tableau? How you can add them onto your map? And then we are going to discuss your polygon maps. How do you create your polygon maps? What is the type of data set that you're supposed to have when you want to create your polygon maps? And then we are going to discuss custom geocoding. So these are the concepts that we are going to cover when it comes to maps, and post which we will try to see some more visualizations, what you can do with Tableau. So let us start our understanding with your straightforward symbol maps, and we'll try to understand what it is. So we'll proceed forward, and to create a symbol map, all you have to do is drop your country. Okay, I'm going to remove this hierarchy first. So now I'm going to drop my country. So this is the country that I'm talking about, United States. And then I can drop my state. These are my different states that I have. And then I can drop my city. So when you hover your mouse, you can understand the different cities in corresponding states. So what is important for us is we have to understand the hierarchy here. So this hierarchy is important. First you will start off by country, next you will have state, and then you'll follow it up with city. So this is the hierarchy, what you're supposed to follow. Always parent-child relationship when you're creating maps. So what is this map? It is called as symbol map. And I can create it by simply dragging and dropping my country, state, and city dimensions. I have my country, then I have my state, then I have my city. So this is how you can create your symbol maps. Very straightforward. And based on the data that you have, it is possible for us. Now, let me create another symbol map. So I'm going to remove this clear worksheet. Drop your country. Drop your state. And then increase your size. Okay, you can change the color. So this is a slightly improvised version of your simple map. I've increased the size, I've changed the color, and this is with respect to your states. So you have country and you have different states. Now, what more can I do here? I can put my sales on my size shelf. So what is that I have done? I have simply placed my sales onto my size shelf. So now, the larger the size of the sales, the larger the size of the circle, larger will be my sale value. So here, if you hover your mouse, so this is California, it is doing well in terms of sales. Similarly, this is New York. New York is also doing well in terms of sales. Similarly, Washington, this is also doing well in terms of sales. So all the big states are doing well in terms of sales. That is what you can understand from this visualization. Larger the size of the circle, the larger is the sale value. So that is a very simple concept what we can understand. Now, what is that I'm going to do is I'm going to add my profits. I'm going to add my profits onto my color shelf. So what has happened here? The size of the circle is being controlled by sales, and the color of the circle is being controlled by profits. So brown color is indicating me negative profits. Dark blue color is indicating me positive profits. So what can I say about my states? I can simply say that my states like California, New York, Washington are performing well in terms of profits. My Texas is not doing well in terms of my profits. My Florida is not doing well in terms of profits. My Pennsylvania is not doing well in terms of profits because it is brown in color. So what have we done? We have simply placed our sales onto our size shelf, and we have placed our profit onto our color shelf. That is what we have done. So this is one type of visualization what you can create using your symbol maps. So this is giving us some piece of information for us to analyze. Now, what more can we do here? So, create a new worksheet. And then drop your country. Okay. Drop your state. Just trying to increase the size. And now I'm going to drop my sales onto my size shelf. So what is that I'm doing? Drop your sales onto your size shelf. And this visualization we have already seen. Now, if instead of circles, can I create a pie chart here? And After creating a pie chart, I want to see category wise sales. So this is consolidated number for all my categories. I want to know the split. What is the sale value for office supplies? What is the sale value for furniture? What is the sale value for technology? These are the three categories that I have. So what is that I'm going to do here? First, I'm going to create my pie chart. So how do I create my pie chart? Simply click on this option drop down menu and select pie. Okay, so now you will not be able to differentiate and appreciate the logic of creating a pie chart. So when I drop my category onto my color shelf, then you will be able to visualize your pie chart. So let us do that. Let us drop our category onto our color shelf. So now you can increase the size. So what have you done? You are simply able to visualize your sales with respect to three categories: furniture, office supplies, and technology. So if you hover your mouse here, so technology sale value in California is 159,000. Furniture sale value is 156,000. Office supply sale value is 142,000. So you are able to get the split with respect to your sale value for every state. So that is how I have created a pie chart from a symbol map, and then I have tried to identify the sale value for every category corresponding to every single state. That is what I have achieved. So this is another type of visualization what you can create using your symbol maps. So first, what have we done? Previously it was automatic for us. So we changed this to pie, and then we have dropped our category onto color shelf. So that is the change what we have done. Now the next question is, can I see my profits also using my symbol map? Is there any possibility? So what is the logic that we are going to apply? We can simply drag and drop it onto your color shelf, and you will be able to see your profits. So let us try to use that logic and find out what it is going to show us, and we'll try to analyze. Simply drag and drop your profits onto your color shelf. So what is happening? The pie chart is getting disappeared. Okay, we are no longer able to see the pie chart, and unfortunately the color of the circle is being represented by profit. Now the question is, what if I want to see category wise sales and also I want to see profit value corresponding to every single state? I want to see both. I want to see a pie chart as well as I want to see my profits on the same map. Is it possible for us? So the answer is yes. It is absolutely possible for us. So what is the logic that we are going to use for that? The logic what we are going to use is, something called as combined maps. So how do I create my combined map is the next question. So let us start from a clean slate and we'll try to create your combined map. So I'm going to remove all these things, clear my worksheet. Okay. And then we'll try to create your combined maps. So first thing is drop your country. Then drop your state. Slightly increase the size of your symbols. Then I'm going to drop my sales onto my size shelf. Okay, so far everything we have already seen. We are simply repeating those steps. Now change this into a pie chart, and then I'm going to drop my category onto color shelf. So where is my category? I'm going to drop it onto my color shelf. So you have your pies. I'm slightly going to increase the size. Okay, so far so good. So you have your pie chart. Now what is the logic that we have to do is we have to create your combined maps. So I'm going to, there is something called a latitude here. Simply drag and drop it, put it onto your row shelf. So I have two simple maps I have created now. So what is the next course of action? My next course of action is I'm going to go to my top symbol map. Click on this. You can click on this option or you can click on this option. Anything is fine. It is basically going to take us to the symbol map on the top. So here I'm going to include my profits. So how can I include my profits there? Because I want to see my profits on the map. So as of now, I have these measures and dimensions. I don't want sales here. On the map which is there on the top, I don't want sales. I want profits. So simply remove sales. Sales is gone. Next, I don't want category. So remove category is gone. So you get this gray map, gray symbol map, you can say. Now, what is it you have to do? You have to simply drop your profits because you want to see profits. So I'm going to drop my profits onto my color shelf. So I've dropped my profits here onto my color shelf and you get this colorful symbol map. Now, what is it I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this drop down option that I have, select this drop down option, and then I'm going to select map. Okay, so you select this map here and you're going to see this. So this map is known as field map. What we are going to discuss in a couple of minutes. But now what is our objective? Our objective is to sync these two maps. I want to sync my symbol map with my field map. So how do I do that? It is very straightforward. Simply go to your latitude capsule, right click on this and select dual axis. So when I select dual axis, both the maps are going to get integrated and you will be able to see your profits. So let us click on your dual axis. So now what what is that I have achieved? I am able to see my category wise sales as well as I am able to see my profits. So previously this was not possible for me. When I straight away drop my profits onto my color shelf, it was not giving me this visualization. My categories wise sales was not visible to me. But now because I have created a combined map, what is the advantage of this? It is giving me the information about my category wise sales, and it is giving me information about my profits. So I'm able to see both my measures on my canvas. So this is the concept of your combined map. So you have seen so far your symbol maps. You have seen improvised versions of symbol maps by including your sales on size shelf, profit on color shelf, all those combinations you have tried out. And you have seen a combined map, which is an integration of your field map and symbol map. So all these concepts we have discussed so far. So let us proceed and let us try to understand what is a field map and how you can create your field map. So it is very straightforward. So you can simply click on this new worksheet option, and then I'm going to go to my country, drop it onto your detail shelf, and then I have my state, and then we'll try to increase the size. And then I can simply go to my show me panel, and I have two options here. One is your symbol map and one is your field maps. So I'm going to select field maps now, as we are trying to understand that concept. So click on this field map and you're going to see this visualization. So when you hover your mouse, you're going to get which state you are in. It is going to tell us. So all these boundaries are fixed based on your geography of the country. So what is that I want to see here is, if I simply want to put my profits on to my color shelf. So how can I do that? I can simply drag my profits and I can put it onto my color shelf. So I can understand from this color palette what all states are making negative profits, what all states are making positive profits. If you want country wise or state wise information, you can simply drop your state onto your label shelf so that you can get to know the labels for your states. So what is that we are going to do? Drop your state onto your label shelf and you'll get your state names. So you have your Texas, which is showing negative profits. Colorado is showing negative profits. Arizona is showing negative profits. Tennessee. All these are your states which are not doing well when it comes to profits. Whereas the other states like California, Washington, New York and all, they are doing very well. Michigan is also fine. So all these are your different states which are doing well in terms of your profits. So what kind of map is this for us? This is a simple, straightforward field map. So in the previous combined map case, what have we done? We have tried to integrate this field map with your symbol map so that I get to see my profits in the background. That is the logic what we have applied to create profits as well as category wise sales on the same canvas. So these are some of the concepts what we can understand initially on maps. So next, let us try to understand the concept of editing unrecognized locations. So for that, I'm going to connect to my data set and then I'm going to load my data set. So in my worksheet, there are 3 different sheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. And if I drag my sheet 1 onto my space here, it is going to give me the information which is present inside my Excel file. So this is the information that I have. So now we are going to go back to our canvas and we're going to create a new worksheet. So I'm connected to a data set called as Maharashtra. So now let us try to understand the concept of editing unrecognized locations with the help of this data set. So how do we do that? So first, I am going to drag and drop my country onto my detail shelf. So what is the country that we're talking about now? Country is India. So Tableau is automatically able to recognize the country, India, and it is giving us a location. Now, what is that I'm going to do is, I'm going to drag and drop my state. Okay, so drop your state here. And now what is happening? Your Tableau is not able to recognize the place. Okay, it is saying one unknown. So it is unrecognized. Whatever location we have mentioned, Tableau is not able to recognize that location. So what is that we have to do? We have to go and tell Tableau that the location what you're looking for is nothing but this location which is there in your database. That is what we are going to do now. So I'm going to go to unknown here, click on this, and there is something called as edit locations for it. So you're going to go here and you're simply going to check this option, edit locations. So now you see this is your data, Maharashtra, and it is saying unrecognized. So now Tableau is not able to recognize this place, Maharashtra. So what it is going to do is I can simply double click on this option and I can start typing here. So it is showing me this place. This place is Maharashtra. So what is that I'm saying? Maharashtra is nothing but Maharashtra. Because of the spelling mistake, it is not able to understand and recognize the location. So now I have helped Tableau to understand that Maharashtra is nothing but Maharashtra. That is the location, what you're supposed to understand when I drag and drop my state. So if you press OK, it is automatically going to recognize your place and it is going to show us Maharashtra. Okay, so you have your Maharashtra here. So that is how we have edited your unrecognized location. That is how you can perform your analysis when Tableau is not able to recognize any undefined location. Because of spelling mistakes, there is always scope for you to not identify that place. So now let us try to go further and we'll try to drop our city. I'm going to drop my city. So now you have some cities here, but again it is telling us one unknown. There is again some location what Tableau is not able to identify. It is appearing to be as unrecognized allocations. So how do we solve for this? That is our next course of action. So what do we do here is, you can simply click on this option and I can edit locations and observe what is happening here. Except for the first place, every other place Tableau is able to recognize. Aurangabad, Dhule, Kolhapur, Latur, Mumbai, Nagpur, Nanded, Nasik. All these are your city names in Maharashtra. So except this Buldhana, it is able to recognize all the other places. So what is that we are going to do here? We are going to simply edit our location. So I'm going to double click here, unrecognized. And then you can start typing. So when I type BULD, it is giving me Buldhana. So there again we have made a spelling mistake. Instead of Buldhana, we have said Buldhana, because of which it is not able to recognize that place. So we are again following the concept of editing unrecognized locations. So for that, simply click on this and you can go and press OK here, and you see you have your Buldhana place here. So you're effectively telling Tableau that Buldhana is nothing but Buldhana. So it is giving us that piece of information. So now I can simply drag and drop my city names here on my label shelf, and I have my city names. Nagpur, Buldhana, Dhule, Aurangabad, Nasik, Pune, Mumbai. All these places I have, and I can understand their locations and I can read my data. So this is a simple concept what you can understand, which is known as editing unrecognized locations. So now, what are the concepts that we have covered so far? So we have seen your symbol maps, then we have seen your field maps, then we have seen your combined maps, and now we are trying to understand the concept of unrecognized locations. So far, we are able to perform some basic visualizations using our maps, and we are able to understand the data. So now, let us proceed to a concept called as map layers. So what are map layers? What are options we have? We'll try to understand from our concept. Let us proceed. Create a new worksheet, and then so I have few data sets here which I am connected to. So I'm going to go back to my default data set, sample superstore. So here, what is that I'm going to do is, I'm going to drop my country like always, and then I'm going to drop my state. Okay, I have this, and now you see on top there is some option called as map. So I'm going to click on map, and then I have multiple options. Okay, we are going to see one by one what these are. For now, let us stick to map layers. So when I click on map layers, it is going to give me what are layers I can add onto my map, and I can observe the differences. So let us see map layers. Let us apply that logic. So now I am inside my map layers. So what is that you are able to see? There is something called as background, and there is something called as map layers, and there is something called as data layers. So let us try to explore one by one what these options are and what we can do with the help of these options. So I'm going to first go to style. What is the style that I want? From light, I have multiple options here. So observe what is going to happen on the screen when I select normal. Okay, there is some change which is happening to my maps. Okay, this is the style which is called as normal. Now I can change my styles. Okay, I can go further and I can change my styles. I can select dark. Okay, this is another style what I have. Okay, all the states are clearly visible, and I can make my changes on my visualization if I want a dark style. Okay, so you have seen dark style, you have seen light style. All these are different ways in which you want to visualize your data. So now there are multiple options for us. Something called as streets. Okay, this is how my visualization is looking like. Streets. So I have my streets, I have my dark theme, I have my light theme, I have my normal theme. All these themes are available for us. Okay, so you can create beautiful visualizations by changing your styles. So that is possible for us. Now I'm going to show you one more theme, which is satellite. Okay, so this is your satellite theme. So this is how it looks from your satellite there in your outer space. And these are your different states, locations. And you get a different visualization altogether. So these are different styles what I'm actually applying on my map. Okay, so I've seen satellite style, I've seen light, normal, black, or what do you say, dark. All these styles are possible for us. Now I'm going to stick to the basic one, which is light. And I'm going to show you some additional features of your map layers. What are the additional features are? If you simply see here, there are options for you like base, land cover, terrain, coastline. So all these are different features that you can view on your map. So now observe what is going to happen on the borders when I check this box called coastline. So when I select this option, it is going to give you a coastline like this. Okay, observe. So you see there is a coastline that has been developed for you. So this is another feature what you're adding onto your map for providing more information. much more effective in terms of details it is going to give you. So like that, I have multiple options here. I have multiple ways in which I can explore my data. Okay, so if I select US metro labels, okay, if I select area code labels, you see there is some information which is coming up. When I select area code boundaries, there is another feature which is getting added onto your map. So there are a few features which are available for us. You can simply go and you can check the box here. And at the same time, there are some features which are not available to us, which are grayed out. So they can only appear when you zoom into your map. So when you zoom into your map, some of these layers are going to get unlocked, or they are going to appear, and we will be able to select those options and you can apply them on your map. So let us try these options. Now some of them are grayed out. Okay, some of them are grayed out. So what is it I'm going to do is, when I hover my mouse, I'm going to get this option. These are called as map options. So plus is for zooming in, minus is for zooming out. So I'm going to zoom into my map and I'm going to unlock some layers. So how do we do that? So we are going to try and we are going to press on this plus icon. Okay, you see previously cities was not available for me. Now cities has been unlocked. Okay, the name of my cities are going to appear. When I uncheck, the city names are gone. So previously, some of the features were not available for me, but now the city feature has been unlocked. So based on my zoom levels, I'm able to unlock some features. So I can check cities and I can have the piece of information what I'm trying to look for on the map. So this is how I can unlock different features which are there in my map. Now when I zoom out, again cities is going to get grayed out and you will no longer be able to use that option as a layer on your visualization. So let us zoom out of your map. I'm zooming out, you see cities is again grayed out. So I cannot use my city on this level of zoom. On a macro level, city is not going to work out. On a micro level, when I zoom into my visualization, I will be able to appear or apply this layer called cities on my visualization. So that is how you can play around with these layers which are available to us for our analysis. So now let us try to understand what is your data layers. So I'm going to apply my data layers, and all you have to do is simply click on this drop down option that you see here, and you have something called as US population, US households, US occupations, US housing, US population by race, all these options you have. So I can select any of these layers. For example, I'm selecting a male-female ratio. So click on this male-female ratio under US population. And you see something is happening here. So you have effectively applied one layer, which is called as male-female ratio. By state, you have applied, and this is the color. So every single state you can understand based on these values, what is the male-female ratio. So male-female ratio is highest in these states, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming and all. So whereas in these states, Pennsylvania, New York and all, male-female ratio is less. So there is equal proportion of male and female. That is what you can understand by these different data layers. So this is one layer what I have applied. Now I can change the color for this layer. So I can select this color. It is giving me much more clarity in terms of understanding my male female ratios. So this is one type of data layer that I can apply on my maps. Now I can also select another layer, like maybe population. So this is the population layer with respect to every single states that you have. So all these states are less populated: Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, and all. Whereas all the Pennsylvania, New York, California, and all are densely populated places. So that is what you can understand by this population layer. So data layers are only applicable to US for the time being. We have only corresponding data for US, which is going to get applied, and we'll be able to perform the analysis when dealing with US data. So there are limited options for us in terms of layers. So I have layers like population, male female ratio, households, household size on an average, household income, service occupation, per capita income, all those things I have. At a single point in time, I can add only one layer. I can add only population layer on this map. If I want to add income layer on this map, it is not possible. I have to create another visualization like this, and then I can add my income layer on that visualization. So we cannot apply two layers at once on a map. That is what we should understand from your data layers. At a time, only one data layer can be applied on your map. If you want to create two data layers, you're supposed to create a new visualization for your map, and then you have to apply another data layer on top of that map. So this is the concept of your map layers. Now the next question is, what if I don't like any of these layers? I don't like any of these layers, so I want to import my layers from the web. Is there any possibility for me to download my layers from the web? So the answer to that question is yes. There is always possibility for us to download those layers. So all you have to do is go to Google and you can say web map services WMS URLs for Tableau. You are going to get one URL which is going to act as your layer, and you can import that URL and you can apply that URL on top of the map. That is the logic. So what is the service we can use? We can use something called as web map services. So let us see where I can find those web map services. So all I have to do is go to maps. Okay, here I see something called as, let me put my country, let me put my state. Okay, then you can go to maps and you can go to something called as map, or you're supposed to go here, background maps, and then you go to manage maps. And then here you see, this is how you are supposed to give your URL. Okay, this is the URL what you have downloaded from the web. And all you have to do is, if you want to create a new URL, you can say add, and you can add a new URL, and you can simply apply this layer. So what is that we are going to do? We are going to go to maps, and then we are going to go to background maps, and then you can select this web map service what you are going to use. So you can select on this option, and you see this is the visualization what you have downloaded from the web, the layer that you have downloaded from the web. Now I can go to map, and I can select map layers, and I have different options here. So I can select the second option, for instance, and I can see what change. You see there is some change in my visualization. This is a new layer that I'm adding. This is a new layer, topographic web map service, what my URL is providing. And this is another layer, what my URL web map service is also providing. Then I can select this option. So this is another type of visualization or layer that you can apply on your map. So this is a different layer. So all these are different options that you have in your URL. So I'm trying to see what all options we have, and I'm trying to perform different layer operations. So that is how you can try out these options, and you can add your layers onto your map. So now we are going to pause in our discussion, and attendance sheet will be circulated to you. So please fill in your details in the attendance sheet, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to discuss the remaining concepts with you at 8:15 p.m. So please do fill in your attendance sheet, and then we're going to connect back at 8:15 p.m. So let us continue our discussion. So we'll try to create your polygon maps now. And we'll try to understand what is it trying to tell us. So polygon maps are effectively created when you want to visualize non-standard regions. That is when you create your polygon maps. So like parks or common public places. These are basically non-standard regions. You do not have a definitive boundary around these regions. So you should have a predefined longitude and a latitude values present in your data set. So you can only create your polygon maps when there is scope for you to collect data related to your latitude and longitude values for corresponding parks or public places or whatever non-standard region that you want to visualize. So let us try to take a look at your polygon data set. So if you want to view any data set here, there is some option called as view data. So this is my data set. So likewise, I can go back and view any data set that I'm dealing with. Okay, I have my categories, I have my city, country, furniture, customer ID, and so on. This is how my data set looks like. So now let us try to focus on your polygon data set. So in order to create this, it is very important that you should have latitude and longitude values for corresponding non-standard regions. So what is the area of interest? You want to visualize your parks and you want to create a polygon map. That is your objective. So now to fulfill the objective, I have some columns like park ID. Every single park has a unique ID, which is known as park ID. And every single park has a name. So those are your park names. And you have something called as point ID. Point ID is nothing but when we were kids, every Saturday in Hindu newspaper, we used to get one small piece of art where dots were created, and when you connect all the dots, some or the other image will be created. The image could be of an animal, the image could be of a place, the image could be of a thing, it could be anything. But what is your objective? You have to create your dots and then it will be giving you some image. That is the logic. That is the function of your point ID. Because it is a non-standard region, your park could be something of this shape. So you have to tell Tableau that this is the sequence in which you have to connect the dots so that you create this non-standard region. That is the concept of your point ID. So now with these columns that we have for an analysis, let us try to create your polygon map. So let me put my latitude and longitude. Latitude onto your row shelf and longitude onto your column shelf. So where are we? We are in a country called as United Kingdom. So we'll try to create your polygon map based on the park related information in the country United Kingdom. So the next course of action is I'm going to drop my park ID onto my detail shelf. So I have my parks. These are my parks, different parks. Now I'm going to drop my park name. If I want to see, I can simply drop it on my label shelf. These are my different park names. New Forest National Park, Exmoor National Park, the Broads Authority National Park. All these are different national parks what you have. So now what is it I'm going to do? I'm going to I'm going to convert this into a polygon map. Okay, I'm going to remove my park name from my data. So after selecting your polygon from the drop down option that you have, next course of action will be drop your polygon ID onto your detail shelf. Everything is gone. So now in order to create those non-standard regions on your map, what is it you're going to do? You're going to put your point ID onto your path shelf. So put your point ID so that the structure of this non-standard region is created. These are non-standard regions. Now, if I want to identify what are these parks, I can simply drop my park name onto my color shelf. So this park is the Cane Goms National Park. This park is South Downs National Park, Dartmoor National Park, New Forest National Park. So with the help of your polygon ID, point ID, I've been able to create this polygon map for different locations corresponding to my parks in United Kingdom. So this concept is called as your polygon maps. So what is it you have done? You have first placed your latitude and longitude. Latitude onto your row shelf, longitude onto your column shelf, and then you have placed your park ID onto your detail shelf, and then select this drop down option, change it to polygon, and then drop your point ID onto your detail shelf, and then drop your polygon ID onto your detail shelf and point ID onto your path shelf. So you can write down the steps whenever you're creating such kind of visualizations. First, latitude onto my row shelf, longitude onto my column shelf. Second, put your park ID onto your detail shelf. Third, convert this chart to polygon. Then put your polygon ID onto your detail shelf, and then put your point ID to your path shelf. So if you follow these steps, you will be in a position to create your polygon map. So when you have your steps lined up for you, it will be easier for you to follow and practice your polygon maps. So you can rename the sheet for the sake of convenience. You can rename it as polygon maps. So you have your polygon maps here. So now let us try to discuss a concept called as custom geocoding. So what is this custom geocoding is? When you want to convert a field to a geographic field. That means previously my dimension field is not a geographic field. There is no globe icon. But I want to convert this into a globe icon and I want to visualize this on a map. That is what I want to basically geocode. I want to convert my field into a geographic field. That is called as custom geocoding. So how do we do that? So we are going to go to our sample superstore dataset, and here I'm going to convert my region into a geographic field. So now when I put my region initially, region, it is not a geographic field because I don't see any globe icon here. So now I want to create a globe icon for my region. So how do I do that? Now it is not giving me any location here. It is just giving me these values: central, east, south, and west. So how do I do that is, I can simply right click here on my region and I can go to geographic role, and here I can select create from. So what does that have to do? I have to go to my geographic role, I have to select create from, and I have to select state. Now what is that I'm going to do is drop your country. I have my country and I'm going to drop my state and I'm going to drop my region. So when you hover your mouse, it is able to tell you this is California belongs to west region, Missouri belongs to central region. So it is actually showing the values on a map. Previously this was not possible for you. The region was not a geographic field. You will be able to appreciate the logic more when I drop my region onto color shelf. So you see, all the dark blue ones are central region, all the brown ones are eastern region, all the red ones are your southern region, all the sky blue ones are western region. So let us try to further improve our visualization. So what is that I'm going to do is, I'm going to remove my region, and then I'm going to convert this into a field map. So what is that you're going to see here? You are able to see your regions. This is my west region, this is my central region, this is my south region, and this is my east region. So we have effectively converted your non-geographic field, which was region, into a geographic field. This concept is known as custom geocoding. So that is how you can play around with different types of maps. Yeah, it is possible for you to differentiate between water bodies and vegetation by using your map layers. Your map layers are going to help you achieve that logic. So with that, we are going to break for the day here, and we are going to continue our discussion tomorrow with new set of topics, and we are going to proceed our understanding about Tableau. So till then, Thanks for your time today, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.